Well, hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Dave coming to you from the backyard here in Maryland. It's about 5:30. It's about 87 degrees right now. Got a slight breeze, so I'm turned around. I'm coming to you from the other way. Normally, I come to you from that chair over there, but I needed to sit in the shade. It's a little too hot to enjoy sitting in the sun right now. I was joking with Mark over at Welsh Piper. Um, God, I've called him Mark so long I forgot his screen name. Anyway, we bitch because it's too cold, and we bitch because it's too wet, and now I'm bitching because it's too hot. So, God, just 90 degrees the last 2 days of April and the first 2 days of May. It's too early for 90s. At least it's not humid. But hopefully tomorrow we're back into the 60s, and then it looks like we have a string of pretty nice days in front of us. So anyway, we're super dry here in Maryland. We haven't had rain in a few weeks. In some years, that signifies, you might be headed in for a drought. We'll see. It might rain tomorrow, but we've had years where it didn't rain from May 1st to October 1st. So makes it hard on the farm and on all the gardens around here. But we'll see what happens. So a little solidarity with Dave over there at Central Piper. So we'll do Charter Oak, Connecticut Shade. This is the light version. I have a Maduro version of this too. The wrapper actually wraps around the end, so it's a little bit different than I'm used to. Anyway, this is a nice, light, gentle smoke. And since Dave was trying his first one today, I thought I'd pull one out of the humidor today. It's lit. It's an easy light. Burns well. So light. So tasty, though. No burn on the retrohale. It's a great cigar. I forgot how good these are. Thanks, Dave, for making me pull this out. I'm always doing the Partagas blacks or the Cohiba blacks or the Oliva Series V Maduros. I haven't pulled a light one out in a while. It's really good. Hey guys, one of the things you hear us talk about when we light our cigars is toast the foot, don't burn the shit out of it. And so it kind of means you got to hold it back here and like toast it. It slows down the burn. It slows down lighting the cigar. It probably takes 2 or 3 times as long to light your cigar by toasting the end. But the reason we do that is if you just put the flame right to the foot and you burn the shit out of it, and then you pull that burned tobacco up through the draw, you can actually make your entire cigar smell and taste like burned tobacco instead of a nice slow burn. So that's kind of why you hear us harping on toast the foot instead of burning. If you guys saw, I did a video. Thank you to Craig's Copper Creations. He and Cheryl sent me really 3 sets of nice copper gifts. So by the way, my the girls in my family have already typed them. They're really copper. That was my wife's favorite, so she instantly took the bracelet and the ring, and then the pendant or the keychain pendant. My daughter liked those too. So anyway, it went to good use. It's far better that my girls wear those things than me. So anyway, I just again want to say thank you. And the Grand Teton bracelet was ridiculous. That was so cool. Um, anyway, it felt really good to get those things, and I really appreciate how much effort and tailoring you put into it. So thank you, and my girls thank you too, because they're already wearing them. So with Mark's last day of work at the warehouse behind him, and it looks like the month of May, he's gonna take off and get ready for start applying for his next round of jobs. Hopefully we get some more Welshie waffles out of you, buddy. I know you said your analytics say most people don't watch all the way through the Welshie waffles, but I do. I enjoy them. So hopefully you can make a few more. I have no idea how to make people engage for 20 or 30 minutes. I mean, mine go that long, and I don't look at my analytics, so I imagine nobody watches all the way through mine as well. But I have no ideas how to make them more interesting or more riveting, but I enjoy them. I watch them. I told you I went to the skin doctor, or the dermatologist yesterday. I was teasing with Father Brian that pretty soon my face is going to be the kind of face you want to see on radio. They actually froze. I think they used frozen nitrogen. And he froze 3 precancerous things off my face. Happens all the time. They're always freezing or cutting or burning something off me every year. I had a pretty big one up here, right there. So that's going to scab up real nice. But anyway, clean bill of health. Froze 3 things off my face. Good to go for another year. It's interesting if you actually stop and talk to your dermatologist, they'll tell you, or at least mine have told me, that it's not your sunburn from last year. It's you want to stay protected with your sunscreen and all that, or your hats or shade or all that, but it's your sunburns from 20 and 30 years ago that really produced the skin cancers. And how important it is if you start to feel them on your back or shoulders, face, or wherever, that you get someone to look at them, because man, what a stupid way to die, wouldn't it be? You ignored that thing for so long, it turned into a squamous cell, and actually, or a melanoma, and actually ended up giving you stage 3 or 4 cancer from something you could have had frozen off in 10 seconds. I spent so much time. I was a long distance runner. And I was a mountain climber, mountain guide for years. So I spent so much time outdoors and so much time up on the glaciers that I got myself some really first class sunburns, and kind of paying the price of that today. Yeah, I'm pretty careful now with shade and hats and sunscreen. I really, even when I go climbing or hiking, even when we did the wave in Arizona, man, we were out on the rocks for 10 hours, but so careful now. But that's only been true probably the last 5 or 10 years. Prior to that, from the time I was about 15 to by the time I was about 40, I wasn't very careful. Look how good this thing is burning, guys. The ash is staying nice and tight. It's a great taste. I know some of you might think, you're smoking air or you're just getting hot air, but there is a nice little taste to these. Definitely on the mild side, not spicy, not bold, not in your face. A super clean retrohale. This is a fine stick. They're not that expensive too. So anyway, Charter Oaks. They make a Maduro version, which I have in the humidor as well, but I wanted to go with Dave today. But I'm glad I did. I forgot how good these light smokes are. I can hear Uncle Willie saying, all I get is hot air when I smoke these things. I definitely understand that thought, but I have to say I kind of enjoy it. I forgot to mention that we're still being sponsored by Canada Dry. Uh, what is this? Blackberry ginger ale. This is the last blackberry, and I've got one more cranberry. So I think if I sit out here with you guys tomorrow night on Friday night, I'll finish up the crap sodas. And yes, my daughter's home, but I'm not buying any more of them. She seems to have moved on to homemade peach iced tea, so probably a lot healthier anyway. So we won't stuff a bunch of crap into our fridge this time. But keeps the mouth cool. What I don't show you is after the video, I pour out half the can, or 2/3 of the can probably. Or at least it feels like I'm not completely wasting it. I was talking today a little bit at Central Cal Piper, and it's kind of fun to watch a guy branch out from pipes into cigars now, because I think this is only his second cigar he smoked. So, but he's kind of realizing a couple things that I've come to realize in the last year. One is I prefer pipe smoking. I prefer the taste of pipe tobacco. But when you're out somewhere where you don't want to haul all your shit somewhere, it's really, I find it much easier to smoke a cigar. It's an easy light, especially the high quality ones. You know, the breeze doesn't really bother you. The torch is not bothered by the breeze. You can sit here and you don't have to worry about tamping and relighting and repacking a new bowl. I mean, you just get here and this is probably a good hour-long smoke, and I don't have to do anything other than light it once and care for it occasionally. You know, just make sure I'm smoking it slowly, but don't let it go out. And there's something weird about smoking a cigar. I think nothing calms me down quicker or more deeply than a really good cigar. I can already start to feel it now. It's only been 20-25 minutes, but still haven't knocked the ash off yet, by the way. So that's like a 25-minute burn. But I can already feel I guess it's the nicotine. I don't really know but it soaks into me in about 15 or 20 minutes, and I really start to feel as calm as I ever do. I promise you, I'm not a rep for Charter Oak. I'm not trying to sell it. It sounds like it though. I can hear myself, but tastes great, and I just feel so good now. Just for 20 minutes sitting here, the sun started to go down behind the trees. I'm in a little bit more shade. It's just cooled off a few degrees. God, it's just absolutely perfect out here. So Mark and a couple arrows are asking about some of these trees back here. So I'm going to just flip the camera around and talk to you about it for a minute. Before I do though, we had we had a tree service come through 2 years ago and probably cut down 20 or 30 trees and push the tree line back. We had one rule I have is no tree can fall and hit my house. And we had done that 30 years ago when we first moved here, but these trees have at least doubled in size in those, it's been 28 years. So we decided we would push them back, and we had a monster oak tree right here. I'm going to show you its footprint in a minute. It was about 8 feet across. And we worked to try to save it for like 25 years, but the horticulturalists, the treeologists finally said, look, it's too far gone, it's too diseased, it's not healthy, it's never going to come back. So we had it taken down. Then we had a stump grinder come in and grind this huge stump down flat. You still see where it is. And then we had a bunch of trees cut down. We had them, cut into segments and then thrown down over the bank to, help stabilize the bank. It has left several now still dead trees. We thought they would come back, but they haven't. So I'm going to show them to you real quick. All right, so here's an example. That's just dead. The green is coming over from the tree. So let me see if I can point. Can I point? That tree is dead. The green you see is coming from this tree. So there's a dead one. And then there's a really bad one right back here. You can see that is totally dead. And we got a couple more back here. So the ones that look really bad this fall, we're going to have them come back through. Probably take out 10 more, drop the dead ones, the really sick ones, and lay them down on the bank. But then we should be good back here. So this brown spot is where this giant oak was. I mean, this thing was 120 feet tall. And this is 2 years of repairing, but this is where the stump was. And the grass has started to grow in from it. This was about 8 or 10 feet across here. And it was monster big. I mean, but it kept breaking off. And you can see there's a dead one right there. You can see the dead branches going off to the right. And then this guy is looking pretty sickly, even though we've had him uncovered for a couple of years now. So there's 2 or 3 right there that have got to go. I can't have people sitting out here enjoying the backyard and have trees that big have pieces break off of them. So I think I've told you before, we bought this property 30 years ago and had the house built 28 years ago. And I'd say 80% of the trees that were on it 30 years ago are still on it. We haven't cut down that many trees. I mean, this whole forest back here, we've probably cut a total of 20 trees, and we might cut 6 to 10 more. We'll see. And that's really it. And then out front, we left all the big trees and really just cleared out the little saplings and the underbrush to make that front woods like it looks like it does now. I showed you that a couple videos ago when I did the yard walk. So we have two competing goals that we've really tried to manage. One is nothing can harm anyone in the yard if it's starting to go bad. Nothing can fall and hit the house, and try to preserve as much of the trees in the forest as we possibly can. So, because we back up against green areas and then a huge Catholic church over there, and I mean, you can tell how green the wall is, and we do not want to lose that or hurt it. And then it's such a large tract of forest back here that we get all sorts of animals and birds that a lot of people don't get to see because they're. I learned this years ago. So these bigger patches of forest have what is called forest interior dwelling birds, FID, forest interior dwelling birds. And they're the ones you want to see, but a lot of people don't. The blue indigo buntings, um, the, the scarlet tanagers, Baltimore orioles, orchard orioles, those big, huge woody woodpeckers, the pileated woodpeckers. They all like to come from forests, so we've tried to leave it alone as much as possible. It's kind of funny. Mainly you Europeans who watch my channel comment about how big things are here. I talk about 6 acres here and a 60-acre horse farm just up the road, and my 10 acres in the Teton Mountains. These things are so much bigger here. Our houses are bigger. We've had friends come over the pond and stay with us in the house, and they walk in our house and say, "This is for one family." It's really interesting. Our house really isn't. This house here isn't really any different than most of the houses here in the U.S. But when someone has grown up in Thailand or Singapore or Belgium or some of the small towns in England, they come and look and they go, "My God, all this ground is yours, and that house is for one family." It's kind of interesting to get the feedback. I know Pat made the comment a couple of videos ago about, holy crap, it's the size difference from what we live in is so different, and that's really true. I was joking that here in America we go big, unless you live in the city, which I don't recommend, by the way. And then if you try to live in New York City, you got the same thing, a tiny 1 bedroom or no bedroom apartment. So guys, I put 3 badge boxes with stickers and all that in the mail today, and I've got 13 more to do. So they'll go. I can't take 13 boxes into the little post office. I'll look like a complete asshole to the rest of the people in line. But I think I'll get like 5 done tomorrow, maybe 5 done on Saturday, and then finish up the last 3 or 5, however many there are on Monday. So hopefully by the time I do a Monday night video, I'll have anybody's asked for anything should be in the mail by the time I see you Monday night. So just another call if you want a badge or a sticker, or you want a badge and a sticker, you just let me know. All I'm going to ask you for is your mailing address. Anyway, I'm really proud of the team. I'm really proud of the members of the team and how they're speaking out, and the more we can add, the better. So, my reply to you is usually absolutely, welcome aboard, and what's your mailing address. So I love sending them out. I feel like it's a minor victory every time I stick one in the mail. So please ask. If you're for some reason at all shy or timid about asking, please don't be. You don't have to do it on this video. You can send it to me by email, or you can send it to me by text. If you need either one of those things, you just let me know. You don't have to do it in public. You don't even have to do a video or anything when you get it, right? It can be private for you. I'd like to see you get more vocal about things, but just joining the team is super easy. And the more team members out there, the better and stronger the team becomes. So tomorrow's Friday, so we'll be doing a Freedom Friday. We'll do a red Freedom Friday. No flannel. I'm not wearing flannel in this weather. Tomorrow I'm going to take a different tack. There'll be no weapons tomorrow. So if you're a weapons owner, if you're a weapons carrier, if you have an intent to use it in a bad situation, one thing that a lot of people don't think about is most likely there's going to be somebody shooting back at you. And are you ready for that? And there's two aspects to that. One is body armor and light body armor and full body armor. And then the other is first aid. Are you able to respond medically to a problem? And so I think tomorrow I'm going to cover medical. I'm going to show you what I carry individually. Every time I get in a vehicle, I have an individual kit. And if I'm traveling, I travel with what's called a stomp bag or an incident response bag. I've got several of them. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, but tomorrow's Freedom Friday. I think will be about being ready to be shot at, to have return fire. You know, if we get in a shit hits the fan situation and 10 people roll up on your house and I could handle that, but I'm assuming I'm going to drop 3 or 4 and then the others are going to start firing back at me. So, or carjacking with 2 or 3 guys trying to carjack you. You're going to get the first guy easy, but after that, they might fire back, you know, and are you ready? I suspect you're not, by the way. So, you know, I'm going to have a super simple solution for you, and I'm going to have a really complicated set of solutions for you tomorrow. But that's for tomorrow, Freedom Friday. I guess we can talk about something serious for a minute. A number of you over the last several months, 6 months, have said, hey, so-and-so says you live in fear. And I just want to kind of address that. I spent 25 years in the deepest, darkest parts of our government, and I've seen what people are capable of doing to other people. And so I've seen the kind of people that get preyed upon. And so that's why I talk about the different states: white, yellow, orange, red, and black. And I ask you not to walk around in white state. I ask you not to walk around with your earbuds in and your face in your phone and park in the closest parking place, because that puts you at risk, because I've seen what people can do. I have the weapons I do because I've seen what a few people can do to an unprepared individual. I've seen what 1 or 2 prepared individuals can do to a large group of people who think they're going to attack. So I live in a state of readiness. I live in a state of observation. You know, I'm pretty much aware of my surroundings. I'm aware of the environment 2 feet from me and 200 miles from me. And I stay aware of global situations and national situations. You know, I could shelter in place here and we'd be in a pretty good condition. If we could bug out to our Wyoming house, we'd be in a great condition there. I don't think that's fear. Um, you know, you can disagree with me, and that's totally fine. I, I I prefer to say it's ready. You know, and I'm hoping none of this ever gets used. Um, but I saw what 2020, 2021, 2022 did to our supply chain. I saw what it did to our grocery stores. So so I live in preparation of those things coming back to us. But I don't fear it. I'm prepared for it, and I think there's a difference. I really don't walk around in fear. I don't. I'm not scared of the future. I'm not scared for the future of my family. I walk around in probably a yellow or orange state most of the time. I'm constantly aware of who's near me and what do they look like and how are they behaving. I do that in stores. I do that in restaurants. I do that in parking lots. I'm aware of people's driving habits. I don't engage in road rage. I don't get angry if somebody cuts me off. I mean, I probably get angry in here, but it doesn't translate to the steering wheel or the accelerator. When I think there's a possibility of a risk out in front of me, I prepare for it. I don't fear it. I don't get sick over it. I don't worry about it. I just prepare for it. So that's kind of how I would talk about the life I have, the preparations I have in place. It's taken me years to do it. I spent a career observing why I think it's important, but I promise you, I live almost in the opposite of fear. I hope that makes sense. Well, guys, I'm coming to the end of the cigar. I've only knocked the ash off one time, so I got to give it an A plus for its ability to hold ash nice and tight. It's been a good talk. I appreciate it. The weather is just in the hour I've been out here. The weather's really improved. It's much cooler. It's a great Thursday night. So let's call it. Let's be done for the night. So we'll see you again tomorrow. We'll do a Freedom Friday video together. Like I said, it's gonna be a little bit different. We'll talk about some different subjects tomorrow. In fact, the next 3 or 4 are probably gonna be different. We'll probably do medical preparedness instead of weapon preparedness tomorrow. We'll probably do body armor preparedness next Friday, and then we'll probably do some comms preparedness. There's some very complex ways to be prepared for comm, and there's some very, very easy ways to be prepared for comm communications if things go weird. So that's it. So I'm gonna end the way I always do. May God bless you. May God bless those close to you and around you. May He turn His ear to your prayer and hear your prayer. Maybe even answer your prayer. May God make His face shine upon you, and may He bless your life as well as He has blessed and continues to bless mine. Good night, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.